In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon you all. The title of this presentation is Diagnosis and Cure for the Problem of Being Restless All the Time, Anxiety. So I will show, brothers and sisters, in this diagram how to cure anxiety from the guidance of the last revelation of Allah God to be with the Quran. So to start with the symptoms of this problem. The symptoms can be summarized as follows. Hearing ideas in the mind of a person, as if he's thinking to himself with these ideas, telling him that he left his house unlocked and that he forgot to do this and that. Hearing ideas telling a person in his mind when he goes to bed that he will fail an exam or an interview he has tomorrow. Hearing ideas in the mind of a person telling him that he will become poor and that certain calamities will befall him, in addition to other ideas that generate fear and agitation in a person. Now, how to know the cause of this, the diagnosis of this problem? Allah God Almighty teaches us in the Quran the cause of this problem, which can be known by reflecting upon the following Quranic verse, which is verse number 64 of chapter 17 of the Quran, which reads, And befool whom you can of them with your voice, and assault with them with your imaginations and false emotions, and share them in their raising of their money and children, and make promises to them, and Satan promises them nothing but deception and lies. So Allah God Almighty states that the cause of this problem of anxiety and being restless all the time is the companion devil, Satan, of a person. Says that every person has a companion devil. He's assigned to you at birth and is stayed with you till death. And this companion devil, he whispers to a person ideas he or she hears in his or her mind, which cause a person agitation and restlessness, being restless. The question now arises as to how Satan can cause a person to be in a continuous state of agitation and anxiety. Now, to know the answer to this question, it is imperative to know how Satan affects each and every one of us, and no one is immune from this. The answer can be derived fully from the Quran, where Allah Almighty describes how Satan affects us in the following Quranic verse. It says that Allah Almighty describes in detail the sole method by which Satan affects humans in the verse we just read, which is verse number 64 of chapter 17 of the Quran, and befool whom you can of them with your voice. So the key mechanism on how Satan affects us is that he attacks us and he affects us with his voice, meaning he talks to us. So Allah Almighty states that Satan affects humans by his voice. The question now arises as to the nature of the voice of Satan. The answer can be known from the following Quranic verse, which is verse number 4 of chapter 114 of the Quran, which reads, From the evil of the whisperer who hides. So Allah Almighty teaches us that the companion devil, which is assigned and exists with every human, whispers to him, meaning he talks to you like a person talking to you, and at the same time he hides from you in an attempt to convince the person that Satan does not exist and that the only voice he hears in his head is his own voice. So, the only way your companion devil can whisper to you and at the same time hide from you is for him to match his voice to the voice you hear in your mind, and you hear in your mind when you are thinking quietly to yourself. So when you're thinking quietly to yourself, you hear a voice in your head. So Satan, he matches his voice with regards to tone, frequency, your style of speech, even the languages you know, to the voice you hear in your head, to your own voice. And ideas pop up in your mind, and you think that these ideas are from yourself, but actually your companion devil putting ideas of anxiety and agitation. So your companion devil talks to you with ideas you hear in your head that contain ideas of harm, encouraging you to hurt yourself and others, ideas of lust and perverted sexual ideas, and blasphemy, to say about Allah God what you have no knowledge of. So, as an effect, also Allah Almighty in the Quran in chapter 114, in chapter 113, verse 4, He tells us another effect resulting from the whispering of Satan to you, where he states in this Quranic verse, and from the evil of Satan who whispers in the knots, and from the evil of the blowers in the knots. That's the translation of the verse, and from the evil of the blowers in the knots. So Allah the Almighty teaches us that your companion devil generates feelings of anxiety, fear, and agitation by stimulating neural knots or neural nodes in the human brain. These nodes are responsible for generating various feelings in the human body. Thus, when your companion devil whispers to you ideas, he at the same time generates feelings that coincide with the content of these ideas. For example, if he whispers to you an idea that contains disturbing contents, he generates at the same time heaviness in your chest and a feeling of anxiety. On the other hand, if he whispers to you an idea which contains sexual acts, then he would generate arousal feelings to make you think that it's okay to commit the sexual act he just whispered in your head. So this is a side effect of the whispering of Satan, that he whispers the thought and at the same time he generates false emotions in your body to make you more convinced the truthfulness of the idea he just whispered. And he accomplishes this by directing his voice, the vibrations produced from his voice, to certain neural nodes in the brain, which are responsible for producing feelings in the body. So after we know now how Satan affects people, so he affects you by matching his voice, the one you hear in your head, and he pops ideas in your mind. That's the way he attacks you. That's the way he affects you. So it becomes clearer now how your companion devil, Satan, places you in a continuous state of agitation and being restless. So let's explain this further. Your companion devil, Satan, whispers to you with a voice matching the one you think with, as if a person is thinking to himself with these ideas, telling him ideas like, for example, that he forgot to lock the doors of his house, and due to this you will be robbed, and so forth. The companion devil repeats these ideas many times over in your mind, which causes the person to be agitated and restless. The companion devil also places ideas in the mind of a person, telling him that he would fail an upcoming exam or an interview, which causes again agitation and anxiety. The companion devil also whispers to a person ideas telling him that illnesses and calamities will befall him and that he will become poor, in addition to other ideas that generate fear and agitation. Now, what's the cure for this? Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, teaches us how to deal with the whispers of Satan, such that he tells us, Prophet Muhammad, that if a person experiences such whispers, then he should seek refuge with Allah. That's the first step, and then stop thinking about these ideas. And we can elaborate further here, that the first thing you do when you hear ideas from your companion devil by a voice matched the one you think with, ideas pop up in your mind, a person should seek refuge with Allah, meaning that a person should remember that the source of the whispers he just experienced is not himself, but actually his companion devil, and that he should also remember the aim of Satan from such whispers is to cause a person agitation, mental pain, and anguish. The second step, as Prophet Muhammad teaches us, to stop thinking about the ideas of Satan, and that the steps of Satan should not be followed, which means that the person should not think about these ideas and should not go into a vicious cycle of pondering upon them, and that the person should think about the ideas he wants to think about and not those of Satan. In addition, a person should realize that all the ideas of Satan are untrue and will not happen. So we see, brothers and sisters, the mercy of Allah Almighty in what He has revealed in the Quran, and also the mercy of Prophet Muhammad unto us, And one side of His mercy is He teaching us how to deal with the whispers of Satan. And Allah the Almighty described Prophet Muhammad in the Quran that He's a mercy to all that exists. And one way, brothers and sisters, to make people love Prophet Muhammad, to show them this knowledge and how He's compassionate to us and how He puts so much effort in conveying this message of mercy to us. And to know more details about this topic, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com, and you can email me at zaidquran@gmail.com, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.